Hello, legacy mathematicians. Marsh here. So today we're going to add and subtract rational expressions, which you're going to want to have on you, notes, and then a pen or a pencil today. So remember, guys, when you added fractions, you needed a common denominator. So in this case, we both can see that our common denominator should be 10, right? Common denominator of 10. So then what we did is we multiplied by 2 here, right? Because 2 times 5 gave me 10. So if I multiplied the bottom by 2, we need to multiply the top also. So I would get 2 over 10 plus 7 over 10. So then we just added our numerators, 9, and kept our denominator the same. So my answer would be 9/10. Same thing when we're going to do with rational expressions as well. We need to be able to just add or subtract the numerators depending on what it does, and then we're going to make sure our final answer is simplified. So let's take a look at a simplification when we have like denominators, and then we're going to move to unlike as well. So I have x squared over x squared minus 3x minus 28 minus 12 minus x over x squared minus 3x minus 28. Notice, guys, we have the same denominator. So what I can do is just subtract the numerator. So it's going to be x squared minus 12. And let's put it in standard form, right? So it'd be x squared. We would be subtracting a negative x, so that would be the same as adding x. And then we're subtracting 12, right? So that would be my numerator, and this would be my denominator. Now, guys, you're always going to want to make sure, does it factor? So the top, I think, does. We have an AC of negative 12. So 4 and negative 3, right? So I can make this x plus 4, x minus 3. Denominator, I have an AC of negative 28. So that would be negative 7 and a positive 4. That would give me negative 3? Yeah. So I'll get x minus 7, x plus 4, right? And then we can simplify factors on the top and the bottom. So x plus 4 and x plus 4 are going to cancel off. I'm going to be left with x minus 3 over x minus 7 for a final answer. So you're always going to want to subtract the numerator or add it, depending on what it's telling you to do. Keep your denominator the same, factor everything just like we've been doing, and then simplify if you can. So now, what if we don't have the common denominator? Well, we're going to find it by finding the least common denominator. Remember, we can make common denominators by multiplying, not adding. Because at the beginning, I didn't just add 5, I multiplied by 2. So we need to multiply, not add. And you may need to factor the denominator if needed to find out what your common denominators are. So I have the following problem. 2 over 3x plus 5 over x squared. So we need to find the LCD. Okay? So what I do is I steal from each denominator everything that's present. So in this denominator I have 3x. So I'm going to have 3x in my LCD. Now, on the next denominator I need to think, what do I already have in my LCD that is present, and what is not present in my LCD that I need? Well, x squared. Now, guys, this is not just x squared. This is technically x times x, right? And I already have an x present in my LCD. So I need one more x to cover that x squared, right? Make sense? So then, guys, what I can do is multiply, or actually I'm just going to rewrite with my LCD on the bottom. So I'm going to have 3x squared over 3x squared. Okay? What do I need to multiply 3x by to get to 3x squared? Well, I need it to multiply by x, right? So I'll multiply this one by x as well. So I will get 2x, because if I multiply x if I multiply x on top and the x on the bottom, technically I multiply it by 1, right? Because x over x is just 1. Down here it looks like I need to multiply by 3, because I already have an x squared. So multiply by 3 on the top and the bottom, so that would give me 15. So now I got a common denominator. What I can do is add my numerators. So 2x plus 15, that's just 2x plus 15, over 3x squared. 2x plus 15 does not simplify down, thus I do not need to simplify further. Let's try another one. So I got 4x plus 1 over x squared minus 4 plus 3 over x minus 2. So, very first thing, to find my LCD, I can't write x squared minus 4 because this factors. Let's factor that. X plus 2, x minus 2, right? Always make sure if you have an x squared in the denominator, most likely it's going to factor. So do a double check, okay? So x plus 2, x minus 2, that is going to be part of my LCD. So I gotta take one of each kind of thing I see in the denominators, right? X minus 2, well, from this x minus 2, he's already present, so I don't need to multiply by an x minus 2. So guys, let's write our new denominator out. There we go. Okay, notice guys, I already had that as the denominator. I did not change my denominator. It's kind of like when we looked at that when we had 7/10 to begin with. Well, I already have 10 on the bottom, right? So this I'm just going to multiply by 1, because I'm technically not going to multiply by anything, but 1 technically means I'm multiplying by itself. Or I'm going to get myself for an answer. What did I have to multiply x minus 2 by to get to x plus 2, x minus 2? Well, notice guys, in the original denominator, I'm missing that x plus 2. So I would have to multiply the top and the bottom by x plus 2 to get there. So let's multiply it out. Let's multiply by 1. So I got 4x plus 1 and 3x plus 6, because I just distribute the 3 in. So I have 7x plus 7 over x plus 2, x minus 2 for a final answer. X plus 7 does factor GCF, but actually not going to help much. So I'm just going to leave it as 7x plus 7 because it's not going to help us if we would factor. Let's look at the last one here. So I got 4 over x plus 5 minus 6x minus 1. And I have that big gross polynomial underneath. Let's factor that polynomial down there. X squared plus 10x plus 25. So my AC's got to be 25. 5 and 5, right? So I got x plus 5, x plus 5, right there. Okay, let's find our LCD now, because I have my common denominators are nice and easy to see. So I gotta steal this x plus 5 first, because he needs to be present. Notice guys, I have 2 x plus 5s here, so I do need to use another x plus 5, so I have 2 x plus 5s present in my least common denominator. So then let's go ahead and rewrite our LCDs twice, because we had 2 fractions to start with. There we go. Alright, what do I need to multiply this one by to get to here? Well, it looks like I already had an x plus 5. I just need another x plus 5. So I'm going to multiply by x plus 5 on both of these. This one, I already had the common denominator. It did not change. So I'm just going to multiply by 1. So this would be 4x plus 20, right? And 6x minus 1, because that's not going to change. Let's go ahead and subtract. So 4x minus 6x is negative 2x. 20 minus a negative 1 is a positive 21, right? Because I'm subtracting a negative, so it's going to become positive. And I'm going to be over my LCD. X plus 5, x plus 5. Top does not factor. I'm done. And this video is done. See you later, Sabers.